Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello, and welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm Mike.
I'm PJ.
And today we'll be reviewing One Battle After Another and K-Pop Demon Hunters. So those two movies that came out in 2025, and you're probably saying, well, Mike and PJ, that was last year. And I guess all I can say is we're still catching up.
We had such a busy end to 2025 that it's taking us a minute to really catch up to all the stuff we wanted to finish at the end of the year.
I'll just start with this. I wanted to see this movie in theaters, but they took it right out of the theaters before it could even, because now it had word of mouth, you know? And it's just like you didn't have a chance to see it in theaters. And I know K-Pop Demon Hunters is on Netflix, but anyway, that's why some of the reason I didn't get a chance to see it. So.
And that's a Paul Thomas Anderson directed that, right?
Correct. Yep.
And he has a pretty good catalog. He's a great director. So I'm shocked that they didn't leave that in the theater, because I'm just like, There Will Be Blood is a great movie. Boogie Nights, right? He's done
Magnolia, Punch Drunk Love.
He's done a ton of good movies. He's got and you have Leo in this, so like this is like it should have been a big movie.
Yeah, and we'll get into that, PJ. So I just saw these two movies recently, and I enjoyed both, and I want to talk about it. So,
all right. I have not seen either one. The Leo movie, that one I wanted to see. At some point, I'll get around to it. The other movie, not so much on my radar, other than the fact that I sell the Funko Pops in the shop because, if it fits the aesthetic, but I don't know much about that one.
Yeah, so folks, I'm going to do spoilers at the same time, not all spoilers, because I feel like both these movies are worth seeing, and so this is just kind of your straight up review. So let me just kind of give you the premise of One Battle After Another. Like we said, it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn.
Okay.
And these are your big names, and Benicio del Toro.
Perfect.
So, and just recently they won the Golden Globes.
Good cast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let me just give you an idea, the plot of the movie, just to kind of get it going. This is something that I typed up, and also with IMDb and Wikipedia I smashed together just to give them source. The movie starts off with Leo, and I'll just say to make things, his wife, okay? And they're a part of a extreme left group that's basically like these freedom fighters. They're called the French 75. And what they do is like they'll do protests. I call it like the movie like Fight Club. I call it Fight Club vandalism. They'll destroy something that's a piece of corporate. And it kind of starts off with them inside of a like liberating an immigration. Like an ice camp, right? And they're freeing them.
I'm getting South Park the movie vibes with Les Resistance.
Yeah. So that's it. So it's Leo and his wife, which is Teyana Taylor. She also just won an award for, I think, Best Actress at the Golden Globes, which I was a little surprised about because I think she does her part really well. But she has such a small part. I'm surprised she even got the award. It's not like a Hannibal Lecter thing. I know he gives like, well, he's only in a movie for 12 minutes, but like his character was.
Was the movie exactly?
Yeah. So anyway, these Leo and Teyana Taylor, they're husband and wife, and like they're very passionate about going against the government and your freedom, blah blah blah. And then what happens? I guess a little bit of a twist. She gets pregnant, right? And what happens is, and I'll get more into this later on, why I think it's important. Leo goes to his wife like, "Look, come on, man, we have a baby now. We can't be." Lighting up billboards on fire. Like, don't you, like he kind of says, we got to get a little bit more chore now. We can't be doing this, and his wife goes like, you're giving up on your individualism. And she starts lecturing him. He's like, oh my God, what are you talking about? We're like, that's not us anymore. We have a child here. Anyway, she still goes out to fight, for freedom, blah, blah, blah. And what happens is she gets captured, and she gets captured by Sean Penn. He's like this whacked out military colonel, and he basically falls in love with Leo's wife. And what happens is when he captures her, basically says like, I'll give you a good deal, put you in witness protection. You got to just rat all your friends. What does she do? She rats everybody out. What happens is Leo and his daughter, which is just an infant in the beginning of the film, the rest of the resistance, which is called a French 75, like, look, man, you got to get out of here. You got to go into hiding and basically start a new life. You have a new name, new alias. So he still stays in the United States. He just goes to Colorado under a new name. So his new name is Bob. That was his real, so he goes by Bob, and his daughter now, she has a new name. Her name is Willa. So fast forward 16 years later, his daughter is 16. Leo's like, he's no longer part of that resistance. He becomes like an alcoholic, a stoner. But he's very paranoid. He's like, he always tells his daughter every day, make sure you have this, like a transponder, like a homing device. I always know where you are. Never lose this thing. And his daughter's like, why are you always making me carry this thing? And he's always never really told the truth about his full background.
Right.
At the same time, Sean Penn kind of rises up in the ranks of his military, and they still want to eradicate that resistance group, this French 75. Long story short, he finds where he and his daughter's whereabouts are. Their job, Sean Penn's job, is to hunt them down and kill them. That's it, or just capture them. So when Leo finds out about this, they put out the whatever left of the resistance, says, you got to cut loose. So anyway, his daughter gets, I'll say, rescued from the rest of the crew, Leo's resistance crew that he hasn't spoken to in years, and Leo just wants to reunite his daughter. So the whole movie's they're getting chased by Sean Penn, kind of like a Terminator kind of thing, and Leo this whole time is just scrambling to get his daughter, and along the way he meets some friends like Benicio del Toro and some other folks. But here's the twist in the film, and this is kind of a major spoiler, but I'm not gonna spoil all of it. As Leo's looking to just reunite with his daughter just to get her to safety, because at this point, they're split. You find out that Sean Penn, that might be his daughter. So you don't know if it's Leo's or if it's Sean Penn. So, So there's also a race against time to find out if that's actually Leo's daughter or Sean Penn's daughter.
Interesting.
So anyway, chaos ensues, and the rest of the movie really goes. So, folks, like I said, just going with the movie, the first 15, 20 minutes, this movie starts off a little clunky. It's a little weird. It's very provocative. Okay. I'll say I forced my wife to watch this. Because we watched the weekend before, we watched K-Pop Demon Hunters. I'm like, and I chose both films. I'm like, I really want to watch this movie. Like, Leo's in it. And she's like, all right, fine. And like, I'm not going to lie too. The first 15 minutes, I was like, oh man, this might've been a bad idea, because like I said, this movie starts off a little weird, like I said, provocative. It's a little like inappropriate language. You're like, oh, okay. And then once like the beat goes, like, okay, like he's in hiding now. It's a little bit of a clunky setup, and then it starts rolling. Look, it's a 3-hour movie. Do I think should have been 3 hours? Probably not.
All these movies lately are so long. Why are we making movies over 3 hours? Can we just not? I don't have that much time in my life to sit there for 3 hours anymore to watch a movie. That's to me, that's the curse. That's like a killing of a movie. If it's too long, nobody has that many interesting things to say for over 3 hours. It's better editing. Make it less. You don't. Less is more sometimes.
Which is so funny because back in the day with Hollywood, this is maybe early 2000s. Prior to that, everything was about making your movie short as possible. You want to make it tight.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because theaters or these studios feel like they have to compete with streaming. Like, we need more content, so make the movie a little bit longer, or you don't have to worry about cutting out these scenes because it's more content. You're getting your money's worth. But like I said, for me, my wife felt it. She felt the 3 hours. For me, I gotta say it kind of flew. The only time I felt it, I was like, ooh, now I'm feeling it, is like right at the very end. I'll just say it's the epilogue where it's like a little half-hour life.
Right.
I'm like, oof, now I'm feeling that last half hour. Overall, for me, went fast. Yeah, this movie, this is a comedy, okay? It's a comedy movie that has action scenes in it, okay? Yes. Is it politically charged? No question. It doesn't tell you what year it takes. It doesn't say it takes place in 2021 or 2022 or anything like that. It doesn't say who the president is, nothing like that. And yes, is it political commentary? Sure. What I say, it puts more the left in a more positive light. Yes, but key word is but. Like I said in the beginning, Leo's character says like, this is like the first 15 minutes of the film. That's when he goes, what are we doing? What we're doing isn't really productive either. It's not really making change. We have a daughter now, and that isn't like a 20-minute scene when he's having this conversation with his wife. He just says like, we got to reprioritize. This isn't, not good for our family. I think for me, the way I interpreted, he was basically saying, I think that, Paul Thomas Anderson was basically saying like, this kind of extreme isn't good either. Right. So, and the rest of the film, there is a lot of YouTubers or reviewers are kind of missing the point, or people who are very highly sensitive about this whole thing. And it was kind of very clear. the criticism on both sides because everything is absurd. This whole movie should be called one absurd battle after another. The whole movie is absurd. I just told you the whole plot. Doesn't it sound off the wall and crazy? And this movie does not take itself seriously. That's what I'm saying. People who are very politically, passionate. I want to be like, come on, this movie isn't supposed to be that kind of serious.
That's because of the temperature of the world right now in America right now. Like everyone wants it. Everyone wants every piece of content, every movie, every TV show, every song, everything. Everybody wants it to show their views and why their views are right. And it's like, I think that actually hurts movies when it gets to that route because the movies should always kind of be escapism.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so when the movies are overly politically charged, I find them to be more preachy than entertaining.
Yeah.
And I do believe that some of these movies should take more of a centrist take and just not show one side better than the other because I just want to enjoy the plot in the movie. And it sounds like maybe in this movie that's what they've done, where you don't have to pick a side so much as you're just following this.
Yeah.
This plot, this as crazy as it may have been.
Yes, exactly. And I'm saying this completely objectively. For me, I really felt it was like the whole point is just you want Leo just to reunite with his daughter.
Right.
I think that's the whole point of the movie is like, I think at the end of the day, I think everybody wants peace. I think we need to get back to, basics and be like, put all our political crap aside. Let's worry about our families and our community. That's the message that I got. But like I said, this movie is totally absurd. It's off the wall. And like I said, there's a lot of political commentary. There's one point where Leo, because he hasn't spoken to his resistance group in 16 years, right? Part of the safety was to not communicate with them. So now they finally communicate with them again. And at one point, they're like, well, what's the password? Because he needs their help in order to help tell him where her cord is. He needs to know what the password is. It's like, I'm making this, I can't remember the exact line, but it was like, what time is it in Antarctica? He's like, I don't know what it is, but you called me. This is me. Can you just tell me what the coordinates are? And it's almost like calling, customer service.
Right.
But I think that's also commentary about like language and he's getting forced. And like I said, this movie is others, and it's like I said, there's a lot of things talking on the right side. There's also this elitist group where you find it's like, like an Epstein kind of white supremacist kind of group. That whole thing too, which sounds crazy. In the movie, like I said, this movie is, I can't go through the whole movie. There's so much crap going on in this 3-hour movie. There's a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of movie bases. Leo's funny, man. He definitely channels like a little bit of the Wolf of Wall Street, some of that physical comedy when in Wolf of Wall Street where he's like gets high and he's like crawling on the floor.
Yeah.
He doesn't get super. I mean, he's always in the movie. He's always high, but not to that degree where he's like, foaming from the mouth. But he's an alcoholic, and every time he's like getting stressed out, Benicio del Toro who like gives him a beer. It's the scenes are very comedic. It's not making light of someone's alcoholism or anything. It's the absurdity of it all. But Leo, for me, he really cracked me up. I mean, Benicio del Toro, he's just, I think one of his scenes in the movie has gone viral with him basically dancing, and he's just so cool in the movie. He's just he goes by Sensei.
He's great, isn't he? Great.
Yeah,
such a good actor.
He's one of those guys. He really is the master of like being a side character, and he makes them all memorable. You think about The Usual Suspects, or even like Last Jedi. He plays.
I was about to say
he was
like one of the highlights of that movie. As much as his character and scenes didn't matter in the movie, he stole everyone that he was in.
Exactly.
He's just that good.
Yep. And another person, I know people don't like him because he's very political, but Sean Penn, he's a great actor, and he's another one where like he's so versatile. He can play any character. If you think about his movies like Mystic River or Carlito's Way, where he plays a lawyer, he's almost not even the same guy. In this movie, he plays a whacked out, frightening, and also weird military guy.
I mean, Spicoli, he does everything.
Yes.
Yeah, he does everything.
So
he's a very good actor. But he is not a young gentleman.
No.
So, because he's got to be what? At this point,
maybe
in his mid-60s, early 70s, somewhere around there. Do they use any like de-aging technology in this, or do they just play it for what it is?
Yeah, he played for what it is. I got to say, I mean, I don't know if, he definitely got jacked for the role. I don't know if he took.
Because I'm thinking if there's that 16-year time jump and we meet him in the beginning, he would be, you know what I'm saying? Like he would at some point by the end of this movie would have to look like he's in his 80s. So I didn't know if they just kind of
everyone
right over that.
Yeah, like Leo and all of them, they basically look the same, like 16 years. Maybe they grow their hair out longer, but other than that, they look exactly alike. All the acting is good. The woman who plays Leo's wife, Teyana Taylor, she won, like I said, the Golden Globe. Look, I think she did a really great job for her role. She's totally unlikable,
Yeah.
She's a brat, but she's good. And the girl who played his daughter, she's actually 25 years old in real life, but she played a 16-year-old, which is fine.
Right.
But she was very good. And supposedly this is like her second film, so she did a very good job. I also have to say the music's very good. Johnny Greenwood, who was the guitar player of Radiohead.
Yes.
His music is cool.
It's more of a score, right? It's not like songs.
Yeah. So he does a really great, and it just helps the momentum of the film. Because like when I say this movie's like basically it's nonstop too. It's not like they're they're sitting around singing and it's only till that end, like I said, the epilogue where they really sit down and talk. The rest of the movie is always kind of like this fast paced kind of thing. I think one of the best things about this film, no questions, at the end, awesome car chase. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a great car chase like this. Maybe like Death Proof. I think within the new millennium,
right?
That isn't like science fiction, like The Matrix Reloaded or whatever.
Right.
Like I'm talking about a regular car chasing car in the desert, trying to catch up to each other. I mean, it was cool, man. Really great. Really feels like you're in the car with them. It was great. Really great.
Like you said, this movie didn't really take off in the theaters for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else came out around the same time. Was it overshadowed by anything, or it just didn't hit?
I think for me, when I wrote in my notes here, I wrote down number one, there was like zero marketing for it.
No, it really just kind of came out. If you weren't looking for it, you weren't going to find it.
Yep.
But, I mean, Leo is a big name actor. He's not I don't know if his profile right now is as high as it was during the Wolf of Wall Street years or anything like that. I do think he's sort of, and maybe by design, come down a little bit. He's not pumping out movies as much the way he used to. He's not, but he's Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a big name actor. You got a well recognized director. I don't know why it didn't have any staying power, and I thought maybe it got overshadowed. But I'm trying to find the release date for it, so I have my IMDb up here to see if I could find it. Because I don't think there was anything. I don't think there was anything that would have overshadowed it. So I don't know why it didn't take off. I thought between having a big director, a big actor, people are looking for that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just thought it would have been a hit.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of a bummer that it wasn't.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, September 26th it came out.
Oh, there we go.
I don't think what else was released this year around September. I mean, there was no big releases. I don't think.
Tron. Tron here.
Yeah, well, no one saw that. Yeah.
I think marketing was a big deal, and I think I can see this being a challenge. Making a trailer for this film could have been very tough. I think another thing that we don't do anymore is actually a voiceover, like in a world. I think this this could have worked if you did a voiceover. I really do, because I think it could have told you the tone of the film. Like, this is absurd. It could have been like, in a world where you have Leo as a freedom fighter,
right,
and he has to go find. I think you could have. I think you could have done it, and I think it would have worked.
Right,
for me anyway. I don't think I ever saw a trailer of this film, to be quite honest.
No, I don't think I did either. I just know it exists because I'm always looking at movie stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's in terms of just negatives. Like I said, it's a bit too long. That's about it. If you're really if you're a type of person who's gets hung up on the politics, I guess it's not for you. But to say it's a bad film, or guys like Critical Drinker, I'm like, man, I think you kind of missed the point. I think his own views got in the way of, subjectively
being able to enjoy the movie a little bit. Yeah,
exactly. It's getting a lot of praise now. It just won like Best Picture at the Golden Globes, and it's very split. Some people think it's horrible, blah, blah, blah. But this movie is going to age well, no question. I think it's going to build up in time. Because like I said, it's a great action adventure film. I don't know what to even call it. It's whacked out. And it's interesting, too, because a lot of people make this point. Well, there's no likable characters. I mean, I think there is. I mean, Leo's character is, I like him. He's pleasant. You want him to get reunited with his daughter.
Right.
And then Benicio's great. Which is funny because people are like, oh, you need likable characters to like enjoy a film. I'm like, well, a lot of people like Daniel Plainview it's the same director from There Will Be Blood, and that character is despicable. There's not one nice thing about him. Why would you like him? You like him because he's interesting, and Daniel Day-Lewis does a great job performing, but I don't think you could say you like that movie because you think Daniel Plainview is a nice person. You like it because it's an entertaining movie. That's bottom line. This is like the same thing. Maybe you don't have to like these characters and what they believe, but the movie is entertaining, like without a doubt. This movie is 100% entertaining.
So definitely something you'd recommend?
I would recommend it. Yep. It's on HBO Max, and out of 10, I'll probably say 8.5, somewhere around there.
That's a pretty high score. Yeah.
Yep. Very good. And lastly, I'm not really the biggest fan of Paul Thomas Anderson, to tell you the truth.
Really?
I like his films. I don't love all of his films. I like, Boogie Nights and all that stuff, but I enjoy
I like
movies.
his films.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not going to say he's my favorite director or anything like
Yes.
that of all time, but I do genuinely like his film and his style of directing. And
Yeah. No,
I
yeah.
mean,
He's in a league
like
of
I
his
said, I
own.
don't think he's the best of all time or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy the movies he puts out. And like I said, we went through his catalog a little bit before, and yeah, I feel like there are very few directors out there right now who, when you say their name, people know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it used to be back in the day, if you said a director's name, you knew who that director was. If you think about Tarantino or Spielberg or whatever, Paul Thomas Anderson is not. He's only in his 50s, so he's still, he's not an older guy. He's not really from that generation of where, oh, George Lucas, oh, Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, but people know his name, so I feel like I always give him credit for that. And if you go, like I said, if you go through his catalog, I mean, There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, Licorice Pizza was actually pretty good too. Magnolia, Wall Street was his. I mean, I think he's got a really good catalog. I don't know that
Yeah.
he's the upper echelon of like world-breaking movie makers, but I do enjoy his style of directing.
Yeah, no, he has my respect, 100%. Yep,
Yeah.
no question. So the flip side of that is
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
K-pop Demon Hunters. This is an interesting one. I did not expect you to be like, "Hey, I watched a movie and I want to talk about it."
Yeah.
And I did not expect it to be K-pop Demon Hunters. That was before we get into even the review of this. Well, you were just sitting around, you're like, this is something. How did this come about that you even wanted to put this movie on?
So my wife and I wanted to watch the movie, right? And most times, truthfully, she's patient with me. I tend to pick the movies, I try to pick one that she's gonna enjoy. Like we watched it's called Finding Dory, somewhat recently. And sometimes you want to just watch something kind of easy to watch, something pleasant.
Right.
So we watched a lot of that animated stuff. So I just heard word of mouth. A lot of people were liking K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm like, hey, you want to watch this movie? And we started late. Like we saw the movie around like 9:00 at night, I think.
It's a short movie,
yeah,
right?
It's like an hour and a half, 90-minute film. She's like, all right.
It's got like the biggest song in the world right now.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah.
But the reason I wanted to talk about it is I laughed a lot during this movie. I was cracking up. So K-pop Demon Hunters is an animated musical action adventure film about a K-pop girl group, and they're called Hunter X. So basically so the group, it's like a musical group. Think of like the Spice Girls, and they're like a musical group, right? So during the day, let's just say they're pop singers, and at night they're demon hunters, okay?
Okay.
And the in this film is they come from like I'll say like a bloodline, or like they come from like a heritage where there was this demon, and they became these hunters to protect like the earth or their country from these demons, and they have to use their magical powers to stop them from like taking over.
Is it sort of like Buffy, where like there's a line of slayers and every generation needs a slayer?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So it's their turn, and usually it's kind of music oriented, and the music bands people together. So it's these three girls. So what happens is the demons and the main villain, you actually never see him. He just kind of has like this spooky voice. He's like in this like kind of fire pit, like in another realm.
Right.
And it's kind of like, we can never beat these girls. We can never beat Hunter. Right. And then there's one guy in there who's part of his minions, goes like, oh, I think I could beat these girls. Well, what do you think you do? He's like, well, they're a K-pop girl band. We got to do the same thing, but as a boy band. It's like, it's like, how could we never think about this? So this
Amazing.
Exactly. So this guy, exactly. That's why I was laughing. His name's I believe it's Jinyu. He basically gets like, say me and you, PJ, and like the rest of our team, right? We become a boy band, right? So in the town, the girls are singing and dancing, and then when they arrive, first the girls don't realize they're actually like the villains. And they're mesmerized. They're very attractive. They're all jacked. They're all like drooling over them. And they're basically like, just imagine like, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys went to a K-pop band. And anyway, when they bust out into the scene, they bring it to song and dance. And like, dude, I was cracking up. And I like their song. They have a song called like Soda Pop. They have like 2 songs, the boy band. They're competing with them. And eventually they find out they're actually demons, right? So they're like, oh my God, it's working. They're taking away their fan base, which means the demon world's like, yes, now if we get everyone on our side, we can actually get out of the realm and then take over the world kind of thing. So, but the twist is one of the demon hunters, one of the leader of the female group, she's actually half demon.
Oh,
yes.
No. Shocking.
Exactly. Right. So, and it's a secret. So she has like, it's basically you have these markings. They kind of look like you have tattoos.
Right.
So in the film, once they're able to band the whole world together with their music and all that stuff, they can create this golden spell, and she can erase all the markings of the demon off her. She could be like free. She hides in shame. So what happens is she starts connecting with the leader of the boy bands, like secretly on the side. They kind of quasi fall in love, and he goes, "Oh, I know your secret." And he's like, "You're not known any different from me." He's like, "Well, maybe if we help each other, maybe we can, I can free my soul. You can free." Because you find out the demons, not all of them are like these pieces of crap,
Right.
So, but anyway, that's kind of the rest of the movies, and them kind of battling fan bases to kind of win. And then, of course, she gets exposed that she's half demon. That's a big turning point of the film.
Right.
And then they end up winning at the end. They beat the bad guys. It's all about self-love and self-acceptance, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, it's a funny premise. Like I said, this movie was just a delight to watch.
It seems like it would be entertaining.
It was just, and it's fun. It's short. It's zipping, And look, this isn't my style of music, okay? I'm not into K-pop, but I think
that's
for
why I
what
was
it
just so
is.
shocked. I'm like, I can't believe you put this movie on. This doesn't feel like his wheelhouse at all.
Yeah. So, but I'm not gonna buy the the album or anything like that. The songs are fine. It's like typical pop songs. I think the whole premise of the movie is cool, but the comedy and I cracked up, man. I really did. It did a lot of thing where like when the boy band first comes and all the the girl demon hunters see them, they're like drooling, and like I love it because this movie definitely has like an anime style.
And I will say again, once again, a little bit of South Park vibes from when they formed their Christian rock band Finger Bang.
Yeah. Right. So, so it has like that anime style. And if I'm PJ, I know you're familiar with this. Like, I love when they do this in animes. I always crack up. It's like they'll have a regular face, and when they get embarrassed, it gets hyper exaggerated.
Like the big eyes.
Yes. And they do that, and they did that throughout the film. Like they see the guy, they see at one point like his shirt comes off, and he's like completely ripped, and she's like drooling, and then she's like, "Wah," and then she like snaps herself out of it. But it's a lot of that comedy where they do that animation, that anime. And look, like I said, I just thought it was really funny.
That stuff is entertaining, though.
Yes, exactly.
Is it like an animation house, like an Illumination or a DreamWorks, or is it like a Korean company or something?
Honestly, I have no clue. Okay. I know it was directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Applehans, and it was written by Danya Jimenez and Hannah McKinnon. But yeah, and I think with this movie,
animated by Sony Pictures Imageworks.
There you go.
There's some money behind it. Then if it's Sony.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, for me, it made me laugh, and I think this is just for people who are film lovers and maybe you want to write movies. This movie does a really good job of like the 3-act story, right? Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy wins girl back. This is kind of like that thing. Right? Same nice, really well done arc. They've done it well, right? Girl band meets boy band takes fan base, girl takes fan base back. But it all works, and it's all
cut and dry.
Exactly, and it's done
easy to follow.
Exactly,
simple through lines.
Exactly.
That's the point that we were saying before, where it's like a tight movie doesn't have to be too long, easy to follow, a little bit of entertainment. Everyone wins. If this movie was 3 hours, you'd probably be like, "Wow, this is a 3-hour movie."
Yeah.
But an hour and a half, and you got an entertaining story out of it, and you were done. You were in and out, and you felt entertained. That's what we need.
Yes.
An hour and a half, 90 minutes, 90-minute movies. That's what I'm looking for. Hour and 45 minutes at the longest is it.
Yeah. I think, PJ, you and I used to talk about, like, when we were kids, we used to watch, HBO and Stars on our cable box. I used to watch, like, 2 movies a night. I would start a movie at, like, 10 o'clock at night. Oh, it'd be done by 11:30. Oh, I'll watch another one. It'd be by 1.
I'll watch one more.
And then I'll wake up for work at 7:30. But it wasn't. Now I can't do that at all. I mean,
no. Now it's like if I start a movie at 9 o'clock at night, I'm not done with that movie until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. So, yeah.
If you don't pay for the Netflix without ads, it adds another 20 minutes. To the movie.
Exactly.
You're never going to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think my only negative with the film really is, and this is really story-wise, and not all the demons were saved. I'm like, whoa, like no one got saved on that side. I mean, not one of them. I mean, I don't think all those guys are, especially when you meet the male interest or male lead in that boy band, who's a redeemable character. I'm like, damn, everyone got smoked. So I guess that's just me story-wise. I'm not sure that's really a negative, but I was upset about it. I was like, yo, everyone gets smoked. But But I love
Pretty
that. I'm
funny.
not gonna lie, man. That boy, man, I thought they were hilarious. I don't know why. They really cracked me up. So, but yeah, definitely a
Eh,
fun watch. Yeah, and I'm not surprised it won awards.
maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I'll have to watch it. I really had very little interest in it. I knew that people were coming into the shop and they were kind of talking about it and asking about it. So I brought in a couple of like Funko Pops and toys or whatever for it, just to have some things on the shelf because I knew it was making some noise and I figured I could sell a couple of things out of it. But
Yeah,
I didn't even know I'm ordering stuff for this movie, like the Funkos and the toys. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I just think that I know the name because they're
yeah.
popping up everywhere. So I was like, let me just throw this on the shelf. And without fail, I put some stuff out like the same day the stuff came in and I
Mhm.
put it out, it exited the store.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like people saw it, they knew it, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you have these!" And immediately bought it. So there is a definitely a big fan base. Is the point I'm making with that?
yep,
Like and it wasn't even. But the thing is, this it wasn't even like small kids or anything like that. I don't know who the movie was. I assumed it was made for kids. I didn't see it,
yeah,
so I didn't know. But it was definitely an older audience, more interested in it than kids. It was like 20 somethings coming in there and buying it and all genders. It wasn't like it was 20-something-year-old girls. It was men, women,
yeah,
it was so it has a very well-rounded audience, this picture.
yeah,
For whatever reason, it is catching on, it is popular. So, hey, you know what? But good, because that's what you want. You want movies to be successful because then you'll get other stuff in the same genre because people will see it success and we'll get to see other stuff. And I love an animated movie. I think animation is for starting finally to not be looked down on as much. So I like to see animated movies do well. So good. I'm glad that you liked it. You recommended it, sounds
yeah.
like.
I would recommend it. I mean, this isn't going to
Perfect.
be like in the in terms of like story. It's not like a Lion King or
Right.
or that, but it's definitely enjoyable. You got to get a kick out of it. No question. Yeah.
I might actually watch it now.
Yep.
After you said what it's about,
Yep.
I might find the time to throw it
Yep.
on and check it out.
And this is the type of movie. I think if when they were doing the development for this, if someone said,
Mhm.
"Hey, we should make this live action," I think this would have made $1 billion in the box office. So yeah, folks, I recommend these two films, and you'll have a good time watching them. Don't take things so seriously. That's the bottom line.
And and also it's okay to watch things that aren't in your typical wheelhouse or favorite genre. If you're an action movie guy, it's okay to watch a little bit of K-pop Demon Hunter.
Exactly.
Try out something new.
Exactly. Well, thanks for listening. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.